Hewat, do you want to talk briefly about your attack by the police and what happened surrounding your house and your cutting off of electricity and water?
Erica is my wife. We've been together for a very long time. Actually, we grew up together, and we started our political relationship in '74 when we organized the socialist youth clandestinely, because at that time the communist legislation was here. And we were very much part of the struggle for independence. We invariably became in conflict. We came into conflict with the nationalist leadership of the SWAPO, because we joined SWAPO in 1976. Actually, we were part of the SWAPO Youth League, who was a sort of independent youth movement, but connected to SWAPO for reasons that we will later can explain later. So we were, our whole adult life was spent on the liberation struggle and the clandestine building of a socialist movement. Come independence, we were also deeply involved in the union struggles from the early 70s. And during the 80s, we were involved in union struggles. In 1984, Erica founded the Committee of Parents, which fought against the mass killings and jailings of SWAPO members in exile by the leadership of SWAPO leadership and the so-called frontline states.
Zambia.
And in 1990, the country gained independence, and then we were fighting for to try and stem the degeneration of the working class movement by an opportunist leadership, and she formed the Workers' Advice Center. And through the Workers' Advice Center, we tried to work with shop stewards, with working class leaders, because there was wholesale betrayal by the union leaders, abandonment of the unions, and there was privatization, massive privatization, etc. All these attacks took place during the 90s. As a result, we were in frontal conflict with the new regime. And this regime was supported by the imperialists. So it was literally a running battle over the past 31 years of independence.
Killings.
Yeah, okay, I told them about the killings and so on. So this is the reason why they started to attack us. They attacked like the old colonial power, they attacked our livelihood. We didn't get jobs and so on. At times it was extremely difficult and so on. Then they started to fight us personally. One of the methods that they used was to attack, as I've said, our livelihood. At one point, they cut the prepaid electricity. No, first they cut the water. And then a number of court cases, they actually made finding judgments that that outlawed us from access to any running water or electricity. And for this reason, comrades in England
Dit is nie van die judges wat hulle van Mosambik van die ander Afrika lande gekry.
Yeah, no. That's those are details that can come later. The comrades from England, our comrades from the Workers International, literally sustained us on these questions because we did not have electricity and they barred us from running water, and which was illegal. Strictly illegal from a legal point of view. And we re-established the water ourselves. We took law in our own hands and established the water ourselves. So, because we couldn't otherwise. But we blocked them from entering the premises. And then they took us to court with the First National Bank and they sold our house illegally. Everything they done against us, they did illegally. And so we are still fighting around the house, and the comrades from England are supporting us to, I'm going to defend the court case myself because these lawyers are, they don't have a political consciousness to be able to do that. But I'm being assisted by comrades who are legal experts. So we are going to fight it that way. The case of the house is now in the Supreme Court under appeal. But in the meantime, they decided to cut our water. So, as I've said before, it's the first time that I started to realize that solidarity comes in a drum of water, because many people brought drums of water here, and it was nice to see that people cared that much. But my house is full of drums of water now. The situation is.
Solar panels.
Oh yes, the comrades also assisted us with solar panels. So our electricity is now, yeah, it's separate from the national grid. The one advantage is that we don't have blackouts. We always have electricity. The situation is, it might seem that okay, in our case, it is a personal fight. But they fight us personally. It's very specific. But it is also reflective of what they are doing to the rest of the working class. Because there's a lot of thievery and fraud going around. They get monies from these imperialists ostensibly to maintain the water supplies, especially during COVID-19. But they cut water to force working class families to find money somewhere to go and pay them. So they get a double income, one from the imperialists and one from the working class for the same service. That is the level of thievery that takes place here. But in our case, it is personally honed as a political attack. At a time by last year, because we know that the American embassy is we won 2 seats in parliament in the 2014 election. We are the Workers' Revolutionary Party to rebuild the Fourth International. We won 2 seats, but the American embassy and the EU warned these fellows to keep us out of parliament. And so that we were never able to utilize the parliament. And at the same time, the Speaker of Parliament stole the money that was destined for the Workers' Revolutionary Party. So they owe us quite a bit, but in end, it's money we'll never recoup. So that is the story of the situation. What I need to say is that because the comrades from Britain and other comrades have the working class workers comrades of Rossing and the fishermen and so on have sent objections, protests to the Supreme Court, to the High Court, and to the President and to the Mayor of Windhoek on this victimization, which meant an enormous amount for us. I mean, besides the morale booster and the humanity of it all, but this was quite a necessary gesture from comrades to do, because once these people have failed to subdue us through those means, they obviously, I mean, the American imperialists, all imperialists are killers, and we were beginning to be concerned for especially my life. But as I say, we live by the maxim that we are not living on the dictates of somebody else. We live on what we consider as necessary to do. So if you decide to kill us, that's your decision. You can do that. We will do what we have to do. We cannot let bloody murderers and rapscallions dictate how we are going to conduct our lives. We are against this total destruction of the whole economy of the countries. Everywhere it's the same. It takes different forms depending on the situation of the country. This is a semi-colony, so to speak. It's used purely for extractive purposes. In places like Zimbabwe and so on, they destroy the skills that could have led to industrialization. They are destroying industrialization in South Africa and so on. So even though the forms of destruction may differ from country to country, but the destruction is there for all to see. And it's for us to intervene. And if we cannot intervene successfully, then obviously it's the end of humanity. So we've got only one task, and that is to seriously intervene in this destruction. And that's what we are going to do. And we have put our hope in the working class. We are very satisfied of the developments in a place like Namibia. And we are also very glad that we have been able to rally international support for this. And it seems that we are putting the ship to sea. So that is for us extremely important. The support, we need support, but it's only for, in the case of the services that they have taken from us, cut from us. We need to take them to court for what they call a mandamus, because our laws prohibit this kind of actions. We need that, but we also need petitions from the comrades internationally to let them know that we are not alone. It is necessary for our safety, our physical safety. I wouldn't like these bastards to put me to sleep with in the dark. If they do it in the light, that's okay, but not in the dark. But the question now is not, the concentration should not be on supporting us as a family. It should be on supporting these fellows at Rossing to do their job. And that is to rally the, firstly, the entire mining workers community, and to gather simultaneously the other sections of the working class together.